It's content, Raina, Maya sneered. He's in on it. He wasn't. One day they wheeled him to the community pool, blindfolded, and whispered, "We're going to let you drown now. It's for the video, okay?" I got there just in time. He was shaking so hard his legs seized up, eyes wild like he couldn't breathe. They posted the footage anyway. Caption: "Waterboarding my disabled brother prank." The fans loved it. He's such a good actor. Best prank yet. This channel is insane, I'm obsessed. Obsessed? Yeah, but it wasn't just Daniel. They turned on each other too. They did dead twin pranks. Maya faked her own death by hanging. Malia walked in screaming like she found her body. Mom collapsed thinking it was real. Her blood pressure spiked so high the doctor said it was a miracle she didn't stroke. That video hit 12 million views. They staged fake pregnancies, fake accidents. One time, they pretended Maya had been hit by a car. Malia sobbed next to a crumpled body-shaped tarp while kids watched, horrified. I was born into a good family. Mom was a nurse. Dad worked construction, long hours under the sun, calloused hands, always coming home tired but smiling. They weren't rich, but they gave us everything. Warm meals, a roof, love, structure. I used to believe that kind of foundation could protect us from anything. But I was wrong. Because no matter how good a house is built, it can still burn from within. I'm Raina, the eldest of 4. Then came Maya and Malia, identical twins with identical appetites for attention. And finally Daniel, our youngest. 14, shy, autistic, and in a wheelchair since he was 9. He used to love the stars, before they turned him into a joke. The twins weren't always cruel, but when they found YouTube, something changed. At first, it was silly stuff, dancing challenges, makeup fails. Then they got a taste of viral. And like wildfire, they needed more. More views, more shock, more humiliation. Even if it meant feeding on their own family. They dropped out of college after 1 semester.
School is for losers. We're making more in 1 month than Dad did all year.
But it wasn't true. They only made money when the views poured in. And for that, they needed stunts. Extreme ones. Maya and Malia weren't always monsters. But somewhere between their first subscriber and their first viral hit, they turned into something hollow. Their YouTube channel, Twin-tastrophes, started with harmless challenges. But then they discovered what really got views. Pain, shock, fear. And they turned on all of us. Especially Daniel. They made videos pretending he was possessed. One time they locked him in the bathroom, turned off the lights, and threw fake blood under the door. He screamed so loud, Mom fainted thinking it was real. I called an ambulance while they were in the hallway laughing, still filming. They dressed up like witches, chanting nonsense over his bed with candles and goat masks, while he sobbed and curled into a ball. One video was titled, "Autistic Brother Cursed? Real Witch Ritual Gone Wrong." They made $5,000 on that one. I begged them. I got on my knees. "You're torturing him. You're humiliating your own blood for money." "It's content, Raina," Maya sneered. "He's in on it." He wasn't. One day they wheeled him to the community pool, blindfolded, and whispered, "We're going to let you drown now. It's for the video, okay?" I got there just in time. He was shaking so hard his legs seized up, eyes wild like he couldn't breathe. They posted the footage anyway. Caption: "Waterboarding my disabled brother prank." The fans loved it. He's such a good actor. Best prank yet. This channel is insane, I'm obsessed. Obsessed? Yeah, but it wasn't just Daniel. They turned on each other too. They did dead twin pranks. Maya faked her own death by hanging. Malia walked in screaming like she found her body. Mom collapsed thinking it was real. Her blood pressure spiked so high the doctor said it was a miracle she didn't stroke. That video hit 12 million views. They staged fake pregnancies, fake accidents. One time, they pretended Maya had been hit by a car. Malia sobbed next to a crumpled body-shaped tarp while kids watched, horrified. "She's gone," she whimpered. Then, "Just kidding. Subscribe." Everything was a punchline. even Daniel, even death, even me. Then one day they turned on me. I walked out of the bathroom once, wrapped in a towel, and saw Maya pointing her phone at me. Recording. "Delete that right now or I'm calling the police."
Geez, relax. We weren't even gonna post it, unless you make us.
That was the moment I knew. They were gone. And worst of all, they turned on Mom and Dad too.
Our parents are broke nobodies working their crusty jobs. No way we're ending up like them. Imagine clocking in just to afford beans and tap water.
They said it while eating overpriced sushi, paid for by prank money. The twins had crossed every line. I became the uptight sister, the killjoy. They mocked me too. Posted clips of me crying after one of Daniel's breakdowns. "She's mad we're successful," Malia said in a vlog. "Girl, go cry to your minimum wage job." But they didn't care when Daniel stopped speaking for 3 whole weeks. When he started flinching every time the phone dinged. When he asked me in the smallest voice imaginable,
"Can I disappear?"
That was when I started filming too. Quietly. For documentation. Just in case. Their final video changed everything. They called it Possessed Twin Challenge. We summoned a demon on livestream reel. Malia pretended to be possessed again, but this time, Maya got too into it. She grabbed a real candlestick, started swinging, yelling Latin gibberish. "Burn the devil out," she screamed. The candle caught Malia's hair. Her scalp ignited. She fell, hit her head on the marble fireplace. The camera kept rolling for 42 horrifying seconds. 3.2 million people watched Malia's seizure live. She was hospitalized, permanent brain damage, partial paralysis, her face, her smile, gone. Maya tried to spin it. "Accidents happen. It was for a skit," she tweeted. No one bought it. Sponsors dropped them. YouTube deleted their monetization. Fans vanished. Their Instagram deals gone. Merch store shut down. Then came the comments. "You hurt your own sister for clout? You disabled your twin and now you want sympathy?" Monster. Literal demon. She was canceled. Not just online. Everywhere. Even our parents disowned her.
"You nearly killed 2 of my children. You're not welcome here."
"She can rot. Let her."
After our parents kicked them out, Maya and Malia moved into a rundown motel, far from the luxurious life they once flaunted online. But Maya wasn't ready to give up the spotlight. She launched a new show on Rumble, framing herself as the victim of cancel culture. I was the real one who was traumatized. She spoke tearfully into the camera while Malia sat lifeless beside her. But the public wasn't fooled. Viewers flooded the comment section with hate, accusing her of exploitation and cruelty. Within days, her remaining sponsors pulled out. When audiences reported her for violating medical privacy and posting disturbing footage, police stepped in to investigate. Soon after, Rumble banned her account completely. She was taken to court.
"Miss Maya Mitchell, you spent 3 years turning cruelty into entertainment. You humiliated your disabled brother. You deceived your audience. You caused your sister's brain injury while live streaming a fake exorcism. And now, you wish to profit from her suffering. Again."
He shakes his head.
"No prison sentence would teach you what you need to learn. Therefore, this court orders the following. You will serve 5 years of state-mandated care as the legal guardian of your injured sister. You will wash her, dress her, feed her, wipe her drool. You will carry the consequences on your back every day until she dies."
Gasps fill the courtroom.
That's not fair. She's broken. I didn't mean to.
The judge finishes coldly.
"You hurt her on camera. Now take care of her off camera until there's no one left to watch."
She tried applying for jobs. No one wanted the girl who used her disabled brother as a prop and then injured her own twin on livestream. Guess where they ended up working? A mortuary. Ironic, right? 2 girls who mocked death, now surrounded by it. They worked under my friend who ran the place. Told me she'd never seen anything more pathetic. Maya cleaned corpses, wiped down slabs, bagged limbs. Malia sat in a chair, mumbling and twitching, her left eye always open too wide. The high school kids who came on tour laughed at them.
"Yo, weren't you the one who pranked your sister into a coma?"
Why not start a YouTube called Live from the Morgue?
Hey, film this dead guy. It'll be your best content yet.
They laughed in her face. Maya didn't respond. She just kept scrubbing. Rumors spread that the twins started having nightmares, that Malia would scream at night, thinking she was still live streaming, that Maya sometimes talked to the bodies like they were her fans. They had finally gone viral for something real. I visited once, just once. You got your soft life. How does it feel?
I clean up people who never got to say goodbye, and I ruined mine.
Daniel's doing better now. He's in a specialized school, still won't speak around cameras. But he laughs when we watch space documentaries. He said recently, "Shooting stars disappear fast." He was right. The twins rose like comets and crashed like meteors. Thanks for watching. If you love Factoogle stories like this one, don't forget to like and subscribe. Then there was the gift exchange day. Everyone was supposed to pick a name and buy a small gift. I hoped I wouldn't get Lydia, but of course, she found a way to make sure she got me. When it was my turn to receive my gift, Lydia walked up with a wide grin and handed me a small wrapped box. I opened it slowly, trying not to show how nervous I was. Inside was a single banana. Everyone laughed. Some students looked uncomfortable, but no one said anything.
Figured I should get you something familiar. You love bananas, right? Of course you do. Your families love it. You should eat it with the peel. No need to take it off.
Tears stung my eyes, but I forced them back. Again, I said nothing. I left the class and went to cry my eyes out in the bathroom. Lydia didn't stop there. Some days after class, she and her goons would force me to stay behind. If I tried to escape, she would block the door and keep me there until she had insulted me to her satisfaction.
Jump around like a monkey.
She'd say things like that, laughing like it was too funny. I never thought being one of the few black students in a mostly white school would be a big deal. To me, it was just school. I came to learn, make a few friends, and graduate like everyone else. But from the very start, Lydia made it clear she didn't want me there. The first time we spoke, I was heading to class after getting my books from my locker. She was standing nearby, watching me. I thought she was just curious, so I smiled and greeted her. "Hey, Lydia, right? I'm Daisy." She didn't smile back. She looked so irritated, like I was some dirty thing.
You lost or something?
"No, just heading to class." "Why would you ask me that?" She rolled her eyes like I had said something stupid.
You're actually stupid. Take your dirty self away. The power is out already. I don't need any more darkness around me.
Then she walked past me and bumped my shoulder, hard enough to make me step back. I wanted to believe it was an accident, and her little racism was just her teasing, but the way she kept walking without looking back told me otherwise. At first I tried to ignore her, but she made sure I couldn't. She and her friends whispered whenever I walked by. If I looked their way, they'd laugh like they were in on some private joke. I had no idea what I had done to make her dislike me so much. One morning, I got to class and found my desk covered in pencil scribbles, messages telling me to leave, saying I didn't belong. I stood there for a moment, not knowing what to do. The teacher walked in before I could react, so I had no choice but to sit down and pretend I didn't care. But I could hear people snickering, and when I glanced back, Lydia was watching me with a satisfied look on her face. Then came the accidents. A tray of food she spilled on me in the cafeteria. My gym clothes going missing from my locker. A shove in the hallway, always followed by a fake apology. One day, after she and her friends whispered behind me for the 100th time, I finally turned around. "What is your problem?" Lydia gave me an innocent look.
Problem? I don't have a problem. Blacks are the ones with unending problems. We whites barely have any. Besides, I really don't like you.
I was hurt. Why was she being racist, unprovoked? Why would she hate me when I'd done nothing to her? I summoned courage and asked her why she hated me, and if I did anything to offend her. But she told me I didn't.
Face your studies, Darkness. I'm done talking to you.
The bullying never stopped. If anything, Lydia became more creative with it. When we went on a school excursion to the zoo, I was hoping to have at least one day of peace. But Lydia had other plans. As soon as we reached the primate section, she grabbed my wrist and pulled me toward the monkey enclosure.
Look, Daisy, there's your family. Long-distance cousins, right?
Her friends burst into laughter. I stood frozen, my face burning with embarrassment, while she smirked at me like she was waiting for a reaction. I said nothing, despite how angry I was. Instead, walked away. I didn't want to give her the satisfaction of knowing how much it hurt. Then, there was the gift exchange day. Everyone was supposed to pick a name and buy a small gift. I hoped I wouldn't get Lydia, but of course, she found a way to make sure she got me. When it was my turn to receive my gift, Lydia walked up with a wide grin and handed me a small wrapped box. I opened it slowly, trying not to show how nervous I was. Inside was a single banana. Everyone laughed. Some students looked uncomfortable, but no one said anything.
Figured I should get you something familiar. You love bananas, right? Of course you do. Your families love it. You should eat it with the peel. No need to take it off.
Tears stung my eyes, but I forced them back. Again, I said nothing. I left the class and went to cry my eyes out in the bathroom. Lydia didn't stop there. Some days after class, she and her goons would force me to stay behind. If I tried to escape, she would block the door and keep me there until she had insulted me to her satisfaction.
Jump around like a monkey.
She'd say things like that, laughing like it was too funny. At first, I refused to jump, but when she and her friends started recording, threatening to edit the video and tell the teachers I had been saying racist things to them, I knew I had no choice. I jumped, and they laughed. I told myself it didn't matter, that if I could just make it to graduation, I would never have to see her again. But one day, things went too far. I was walking down the stairs when I noticed a strange, dark liquid on one of the steps. Before I could react, my foot slipped, and I tumbled down, landing hard on my knees and hands. Pain shot through me, but before I could even get up, I heard Lydia's voice from the top of the stairs.
Damn, Daisy. Looks like you tripped on the blood of your ancestors. I never thought you blacks would also have blood the color of your skin.
Her friends burst into laughter. I could barely breathe. I wasn't just hurt or embarrassed. I was angry. I knew I had to do something. But in a school where I was one of the only black students who would believe me? Well, eventually, graduation came. Graduation day was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. I had spent years enduring Lydia's torment, and finally, it was over. I was ready to leave it all behind. The ceremony was in full swing, and I was relieved that I had managed to avoid Lydia the whole morning. But, of course, she wasn't about to let me go without one last humiliation. When I returned to my seat after stepping away for a moment, I didn't notice anything unusual. I sat down, too distracted by the excitement and nerves of the ceremony. It wasn't until they called my name to collect my certificate that I heard the first whispers. Then, the laughter. As I walked up to the stage, I caught a glimpse of Lydia and her friends giggling and pointing at me. I was confused, so I turned my head slightly and I saw what they were laughing at. A red stain covered the back of my white graduation gown. I didn't need anyone to tell me what it looked like. I couldn't breathe. I forced myself to keep walking until I took the certificate with shaking hands. I could hear snickers from the crowd and I felt so pained. The moment I stepped off the stage, I rushed straight to the bathroom. I locked myself in a stall, breathing hard. Hot tears streamed down my face. It was just like every other time Lydia had humiliated me, but this was supposed to be over. She had managed to taint even my final day here. I left the school immediately after the ceremony was over, and I stayed at home while my parents began preparing me for college. My parents decided to let me study abroad. I didn't argue. I had no friends I would miss, so I packed my things, left the country, and never looked back. College was incredible. There were a mix of white and black people there, but no one treated me differently because of my skin color. I made friends who supported me, professors who encouraged me, and I found a passion for fashion. After graduation, I worked hard to build my own clothing brand. It started small, but within a few years, it became one of the most popular brands in the industry. I expanded into other businesses, opening supermarkets, investing in properties, and creating a life I had only dreamed of. 6 years later, I had everything I had ever wanted. And then one day, life decided to give me a little gift. I was reviewing applicants for a cleaner position at one of my supermarkets. There were 3 candidates waiting to be interviewed. When I walked into the office and glanced at the names on the list, I almost burst into laughter as I saw Lydia's name. After everything she had put me through, after all the times she made me feel bad for being black, she was now here, sitting outside my office, waiting for me to decide if she was worth hiring. I was happy. It was finally my turn to treat her how she deserves. I told the other 2 to leave, redirecting them to my boutique to work there. Then I instructed Lydia to come into my office. She still didn't know it was me. When she finally walked in, I nearly burst out laughing. She looked so afraid, like she'd seen a ghost. All the confidence and the cruelty was all gone. She wasn't the girl who tormented me anymore. She was just an applicant at my supermarket, sitting nervously with her hands clasped together. She looked exhausted, her clothes worn, her eyes darting around like she wanted to escape.
Daisy, wow, I can't believe this is you.
Her voice wasn't as it used to be. In fact, it was barely more than a whisper. She seemed as though saying my name would destroy her. I loved the power I had over her. Yes, Lydia, it's been a while. I can't believe you're applying for the position of a cleaner at my supermarket. Funny how life works, isn't it? How the great has fallen.
I just need a job. Things haven't really gone well for me recently. My parents died in a car crash, and before that, they had borrowed money and invested in a business. When they passed, the bank seized all of their assets. I'm so sorry for everything that happened between us in the past. I'm a changed person now, and I swear it will never happen again.
It will never repeat itself because you're at my mercy now. Anyway, I'm a fair boss. I don't let personal history cloud my judgment. If you're willing to work hard, I can give you the job. She looked so happy and relieved, thinking I was being kind. She thought I'd forgiven her. She had no idea what was coming. The next 6 months were hell for Lydia. She scrubbed floors until her hands were raw, cleaned bathrooms that were always mysteriously filthy, and ran errands that had nothing to do with her job. If anyone needed something like coffee, lunch, papers, Lydia was sent. She worked late, sometimes until midnight, only to be back by 6 in the morning. She had no allies, no friends. I let the employees know that she was a racist and a bully, so they treated her however they pleased. One night, after closing, I found her crouched on the floor, scrubbing an invisible stain I'd instructed her to take off. Her uniform was damp with sweat, her hands trembling. This reminds me of high school. You used to make me stay after class, remember? Making me jump around like a monkey? I heard her sniff and I knew she was crying. That made me feel happy. Are you crying? That's beautiful. You should cry more considering the countless times you made me cry. Should I lock you in the toilet and make you fill up a bowl with your tears?
Daisy, please. I'm sorry.
I begged you to. Did you have mercy on me back then? Did you care how I felt when you humiliated me? Keep cleaning. Lydia continued to endure all of it. However, the final straw came when I made her clean the front windows in the middle of winter, wearing nothing but her uniform. Her fingers were red and stiff from the cold, her body shivering violently. She couldn't take it anymore. She dropped the cloth, turned to me, and with tears streaming down her face, she apologized for the umpteenth time.
I'm sorry for everything. I was a horrible person. I don't deserve forgiveness, but please, Daisy, please let it go already. You've punished me so much already.
You're right. You don't deserve forgiveness. But I won't let it go. I'm letting you go instead. I reached into my pocket, pulled out a termination letter, and dropped it at her feet. You're fired. Lydia dropped to her knees, crying and begging, but I didn't care. I had her take her things and leave my supermarket. I felt good afterward because I had already gotten my revenge, but that wasn't all. A few days later, I sent the police to her apartment to arrest her. I lied, claiming that some items had gone missing. She was humiliated as her house was searched, and she was locked up for 2 weeks before I finally told the police to release her, saying I had dropped the charges. When she got out, I visited her and asked, "How's life so far?" She was furious and tried to attack me, but I reminded her that if she dared, she would be locked up for a very long time. I smirked and walked away. Thanks for watching.
My chest tightened as I took it all in. On the floor, surrounded by paramedics, was Mark. His skin was blistered, his clothes charred. He'd tried to set fire to the office, but the flames had trapped him instead. "She should have fired me. I hate you." I froze, torn between horror and pity. He was barely conscious when they carried him out. The truth unraveled quickly. Mark hadn't just tried to destroy the business. He'd tried to frame me for arson. He left a can of gasoline in my office and had forged documents suggesting I was transferring money illegally. But his plan backfired when he was caught in the fire he started. Instead of ruining me, he ruined himself. My name is David, and this is the story of how grief, loyalty, betrayal, and karma played out in my life. It begins with love, but as you'll soon see, it twists into something dark and ends in a way that I could never have imagined. I married the love of my life, Sarah, when we were both 26. She had the kind of laughter that turned a bad day into a good one, the kind of warmth that made everyone want to sit close to her. We had a child together, a little girl named Lily. But life, cruel as it can be, struck Sarah with cancer only a few years into our marriage. Despite the chemo, the endless hospital visits, and the prayers whispered late into the night, she passed away. I was left alone, a widower at 31, with a toddler who had her mother's eyes. In those dark days, the only light that kept me going was Sarah's mother, Mrs. Anderson. She wasn't just my mother-in-law, she became my anchor. She came over almost every day, cooked meals, helped with Lily, and reminded me that I wasn't truly alone. Her kindness was the reason I didn't fall apart. One afternoon, over a cup of tea in her sunlit kitchen, she said,
David, you've been good to my daughter and my granddaughter. You've got a good head on your shoulders too. Come work with me. I'll put you in a high position at my company. It'll keep you busy and give you a way to secure Lily's future.
It was an offer I couldn't refuse. Not only did I want stability for Lily, but I also wanted to honor Sarah by being there for her family. Mrs. Anderson ran a thriving import-export business. She was respected in the community, and working beside her felt natural. But not everyone welcomed me with open arms. Her son, Mark, my brother-in-law, saw me as an enemy from the very first day. "Oh, so now you're trying to replace Dad? Sit in the big chair and be her golden boy, huh?" "Mark, I'm here to work. That's it. Your mom trusts me. Don't make this harder than it needs to be." But it was hard. Mark was lazy, entitled, and arrogant. He openly undermined me at work. In meetings, he would interrupt my presentations with sarcastic remarks. Yeah, we all know Mr. Perfect's got charts and graphs. Let's move on." He'd steal my ideas and present them as his own, trying to win favor from his mother. Worst of all, he mocked me in front of the employees. "Careful, everyone. Our perfect son-in-law might write another report on you. Don't sneeze the wrong way or he'll tell mommy." Some employees laughed nervously, but most exchanged glances, clearly respecting me more than him. That only fueled his hatred. The bigger problem? He was siphoning money from the company accounts. I discovered it after a month of reviewing financials. At first, I hesitated. He was family, after all. But then I thought about Mrs. Anderson, about Lily, about the company's employees who depended on their paychecks. I had to report it. I don't know how to say this, but Mark's been embezzling funds. Here are the records. Her face turned pale as she scanned the numbers. She didn't say much, but I knew it hit her hard.
If he doesn't shape up, David, I'll have no choice but to fire him. My own son. Can you imagine?
She gave him warning after warning, but Mark never listened. Instead, he started lashing out at employees. He threatened staff, made them work late nights, and once even forced an intern to miss his graduation ceremony by demanding a last-minute project. He became crueler the more he realized his mother was siding with me. He hated me even more for telling the truth. But then, complaints from employees started piling up at Mrs. Anderson's office. They whispered about Mark's constant mocking, his late-night demands, and the money disappearing from petty cash. Every memo I forwarded to her only made him angrier.
Mrs. Anderson, I don't feel safe working here. Mark, he yelled at me for no reason again.
He made me stay until midnight yesterday. I missed my daughter's recital.
Mark, I warned you. I cannot allow this to continue. You're fired.
Mark stormed out of her office, slamming the door so hard the glass shook. From that day, he looked at me like I was the embodiment of every frustration he'd ever felt. He hated me even more for telling the truth. It was a war, and I was the enemy he couldn't beat. Then came the night that changed everything. It was nearly midnight when my phone rang. The police. "Mr. David, we need you at the office immediately. There's been a fire. Someone's inside, we're not sure who." I rushed over, heart pounding. As I arrived, the scene was chaos. Alarms blared. Smoke poured from the windows. Firemen shouted orders as water blasted from hoses. Neighbors gathered on the sidewalk, murmuring and pointing. My chest tightened as I took it all in. On the floor, surrounded by paramedics, was Mark. His skin was blistered, his clothes charred. He'd tried to set fire to the office, but the flames had trapped him instead. "She should have fired me. I hate you." I froze, torn between horror and pity. He was barely conscious when they carried him out. The truth unraveled quickly. Mark hadn't just tried to destroy the business. He'd tried to frame me for arson. He left a can of gasoline in my office and had forged documents suggesting I was transferring money illegally. But his plan backfired when he was caught in the fire he started. Instead of ruining me, he ruined himself. The insurance covered the damages, the files were backed up, and the damage was manageable. He didn't succeed in destroying the company. Instead, he destroyed himself. Mrs. Anderson, heartbroken but resolute, filed a police complaint. She cut ties with him. Every asset he had was seized: his cars, his luxury apartment, his bank accounts.
David, I can't believe this is my son. But I won't let him drag the rest of us down. From now on, you're in charge. You're in.
Those words sealed my fate. Overnight, I became the head of the company. I rebuilt what he tried to destroy. We thrived. I worked harder than ever, not just for Lily, but for Mrs. Anderson, who had shown me what real family was. And Mark? Well, let's just say karma is cruel and thorough. After being discharged from the hospital, he was confined to a wheelchair, half-burned and bitter. With no money, no friends, and no family to lean on, he ended up in a rundown one-bedroom apartment. Petty karma hit him hardest. His neighbors threw trash near his door. A dog barked all night outside his window, keeping him awake. And his wheelchair ramp broke down constantly, forcing him to beg for help from the very people who mocked him. I heard through the grapevine that he sat alone all day, glaring at the walls, hating me more with each passing moment. One day, I happened to stop by a gas station near his place. I saw him, sitting outside, glaring at the world as if it had personally betrayed him. He looked up, recognized me, and scowled. "You stole my life." "No, Mark. You lit the match yourself." I walked away before he could respond, leaving him fuming in silence. That was the twist of fate. The man who tried to burn everything to the ground ended up trapped in his own personal hell, while I rose from the ashes. Sometimes revenge doesn't come from plotting. It comes from life itself. A few weeks later, I visited Sarah's grave. Lily held my hand, her small fingers wrapped around mine. "Sarah, I kept my promise. Lily's safe. The business is thriving. Your mother is stronger than ever. Your family is whole, except for Mark." But that was his choice. The wind blew gently, as if Sarah herself was listening. I kissed Lily's forehead, stood up, and walked away with peace in my heart. Anyway, that's my story. Now, if you enjoyed it, don't just sit there looking dramatic. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and remember, if your brother-in-law ever tries to burn you down, just let karma handle it.
I left afterward. 2 days later, my cousin called me.
Anna, have you heard? Aunt Patricia's at the hospital. She's paralyzed. They said it was poison.
I already knew it was the tea. She tried to poison me. If I hadn't switched the cups, it would have been me lying there. I told the whole family what happened. They were shocked. One by one, everyone stopped visiting her. She was left alone in the hospital bed. Meanwhile, without her running the company, things started to fall apart. People resigned, clients left, and within weeks, the company closed down completely. Patricia lost everything. I later sent Patricia a bouquet of dead flowers with a card that read, "For everything you tried to kill." She spent her last days lying in a hospital room, with no one to care for her. No visitors, no family. My life used to be full of laughter and love. Every morning, I woke up beside Jordan, the man I loved and adored. He wasn't just my husband, he was my best friend, my partner in everything, and the father of our beautiful son, Micah. We got married young, but it never felt like a mistake. We built a small home filled with joy. I loved cooking while Jordan danced around the kitchen holding Micah in his arms. We didn't have much, but we had love, and that was everything to me. I still remember our late-night talks, when we would dream about Micah's future. Jordan always said,
"We'll give him the best life, babe, no matter what. He's going to grow up happy, just like us."
and I believed him. I believed we had forever, but forever ended on a rainy Tuesday. Jordan was on his way home from work. There was a heavy storm, the roads were slippery, leading to a fatal accident. A truck skidded and crashed into his car, and Jordan died instantly. When the police came to my door, I thought it was a mistake. I kept shaking my head, refusing to believe the words I was hearing. I kept saying, no, he's coming home. He texted me, he said he was coming home, but he never did. The weeks after that were the worst. I moved through the days like a ghost. I couldn't eat, I barely slept. Every time Micah cried, I held him and cried too. He was only 2, so he didn't understand. He kept looking at the door, waiting for his daddy. My savings ran out faster than I expected. I had stopped working after Micah was born, so I had no job to return to. I tried applying to places, but with no recent experience, nobody called me back. That's when my Aunt Patricia called.
Sweetheart, come work with me. I've got space at the office. You can ease in slowly and you can bring Micah until you sort out childcare.
I cried when I heard her voice. I didn't even hesitate. I said yes immediately. For the first time since Jordan's death, I felt like maybe things were turning around. The first day I walked into her company, I felt hopeful. Aunt Patricia hugged me warmly, held Micah's hand, and walked me around proudly.
This is your second home now, Anna. Anything you need, just ask.
She made me feel safe. She let me leave early when Micah wasn't feeling well. She even gave me a small office near hers. Every time she walked by, she waved or dropped a cup of tea on my desk. She made me believe I had a future again. I was so grateful. I worked hard. I stayed late when I could. I did everything she asked and more. I didn't want to disappoint her. I kept telling people how lucky I was to have her. But I didn't know the truth. I didn't know what working for my aunt would really mean. I didn't know that the woman I saw as my savior was about to turn my life into a quiet, painful nightmare. It started small. Patricia noticed how other employees admired my resilience and warmth. And the fact that she always wanted a child but never had one only seemed to fuel her resentment. Soon, she started hating me. After just 1 month of working there, she stopped greeting me in the mornings. When I said hello, she would just nod and walk away. I thought maybe she was just tired or stressed, but it continued happening until I had to stop greeting her. Then she started pointing out small mistakes.
This file is messy. Why would you submit it like this? Are you crazy?
But the file was fine. I checked it 3 times. Still, I said sorry and promised to fix it. Then it became more than just small corrections. She started shouting at me, in front of other workers.
Do you think this is a charity? You're not here to play. Work like the rest.
People started looking at me differently. Some avoided me. Some whispered when I passed by. I felt ashamed, but I didn't understand why she was doing it. I worked hard. I never came late. I stayed extra hours even when I was tired. One afternoon, I knocked on her office door and walked in. "Auntie, please, have I done something wrong? If I have, I'm really sorry. Just tell me what I did." She didn't even look at me for a few seconds. She just clicked her pen and looked annoyed.
You've just been bad, Anna, that's all. You need to do better.
Her words hit me hard, but I just nodded and walked out. From that day, I pushed myself harder. I came earlier than everyone else. I skipped lunch to finish reports. I double-checked every document. But still, nothing changed. She found faults in everything.
You didn't arrange the chairs properly for the meeting. You sent this email too slow. Do you sleep while typing? Why is your son here again? This is a company, not a daycare.
Micah only stayed when his babysitter couldn't come. He stayed quietly in my office with his toy and snacks. But my aunt didn't care. One day, she even told the receptionist,
If Anna brings her son again, tell her to go back home. I don't want to see him here.
That day, I cried in the bathroom for almost an hour. I didn't want Micah to see me sad, so I wiped my face and smiled when I picked him up. Things got worse. She made me clean the office after work hours. I had to sweep the floors, wash coffee mugs, even take out the trash, while the cleaner watched me and laughed. One day I wore a simple dress to work. Nothing fancy, just neat and nice.
So now you're dressing like a queen? For who? The security man?
Everyone in the office heard her and laughed. I wanted the ground to open and swallow me, but I stayed, because I needed the job, because Micah needed food, and because I had no one else. I told myself it was just a phase, that maybe she was angry about something else, that maybe, one day, she'd smile at me again. 2 months later, it was almost Micah's 3rd birthday. I had saved a little money, just enough to plan something small. Nothing big, just a few balloons, a cake, food, and drinks for friends and family. I wanted him to feel loved, to smile, to not miss his daddy too much that day. I went to Aunt Patricia 2 weeks before. Please, Auntie, I want to take the day off for Micah's birthday, just that one day.
Fine, do whatever you want.
Her voice was dry, but I was happy she agreed. I told my friends, sent out a few messages to some family members. My parents were both dead, so it was a small group, but it meant the world to me. The day came. Micah wore his little blue suit and smiled from ear to ear. I had saved just enough for a clown and a small bouncy castle. He was laughing, jumping, running around with other kids. I couldn't stop smiling either. I finally felt proud of something. Then, without warning, Aunt Patricia stormed in.
Anna, go back to work, now.
I was confused, thinking maybe she was joking. Auntie, please. I told you about today. It's Micah's birthday. I just wanted him to feel special.
So your job means nothing? Is this a circus? I'll teach you a lesson.
Then she did the unthinkable. First, she pushed Dom the cake then. She grabbed Micah and started hitting him without mercy. Right there in front of everyone. Micah screamed.
Mommy, Mommy.
Everything inside me froze. I rushed forward, but I wasn't fast enough. My friends jumped in. They grabbed Micah and pulled him away from her.
Are you crazy? That's a child.
What is wrong with you? One of my closest friends stepped forward and slapped Aunt Patricia right across the face.
Leave now, before we forget you're Anna's family and call the cops on you.
She refused to leave and tried coming for me, but my uncles who were present grabbed her and dragged her out. Micah was shaking in my arms. His little face was wet with tears. My heart broke into 1,000 pieces. The party ended early. I couldn't even smile anymore. The next day, I went to work. I thought maybe she'd pretend like nothing happened. Maybe she'd stay away from me. But the moment I walked in, she was waiting. She slapped me so hard, right in front of the reception. Then she pointed to the door.
You're fired. Get out of my company and don't come back.
I left, holding back tears. I didn't want to cry in front of her. I didn't want her to see me broken. But the moment I got outside, I called my friend Carol.
Anna, what's wrong?
She fired me. My aunt slapped me and sent me out of her company.
Come to my office now. There's an opening at my company. I'll speak to my boss.
I went there right away. Carol helped me with the application. 3 days later, I got a call that I had the job. And not just any job, it paid 4 times more than what Patricia gave me. And there was a free daycare in the building. Micah could stay close, safe, and happy. The first day I walked into that office, I felt at peace. 3 months passed, and my life had become peaceful again. I had a good job. My salary was more than enough for me and Micah. I even got to register him at a lovely kindergarten nearby. Every morning, he would hug me tightly before walking into class with a big smile. I felt proud again. For the first time in a long time, I could breathe, laugh, and sleep well. No more insults. No more walking on eggshells. Then one evening, Aunt Patricia called me.
Anna, please. Can you come over? I'd like to talk.
Her voice was soft and almost shaky. For a moment, I was confused. But then I thought maybe she wanted to apologize. I told her I'd come. The next afternoon, I walked into her house. On the center table were 2 cups of tea. I wondered why she prepared the tea before I even arrived.
Please, sit, please. I made...
She turned around and walked into the kitchen, maybe to get something. I glanced at the 2 cups. Without thinking too much, I quickly switched the cups. She returned a moment later.
T, I've been thinking a lot. About the past. About how I treated you. I was wrong, Anna. I hurt you. I don't even know why. You didn't deserve it. Please, drink with me. Let's let the past go.
I lifted the cup slowly and drank, pretending everything was fine. We finished our tea and I stood up. Thank you, Auntie. I hope we both move on from all this. I left afterward. 2 days later, my cousin called me.
Anna, have you heard? Aunt Patricia's at the hospital. She's paralyzed. They said it was poison.
I already knew it was the tea. She tried to poison me. If I hadn't switched the cups, it would have been me lying there. I told the whole family what happened. They were shocked. One by one, everyone stopped visiting her. She was left alone in the hospital bed. Meanwhile, without her running the company, things started to fall apart. People resigned, clients left, and within weeks, the company closed down completely. Patricia lost everything. I later sent Patricia a bouquet of dead flowers with a card that read, "For everything you tried to kill." She spent her last days lying in a hospital room, with no one to care for her. No visitors, no family. Micah and I were doing just fine. Every time I looked at him, I knew life had finally given us peace. Thanks for watching. Mom had always been the balance, the soft hand that protected us. With her gone, there was nothing to soften Dad's harshness. At 15, David fell seriously ill. He collapsed at school during practice. It turned out he had a rare blood disorder, and without a transfusion, he could die. The doctor explained clearly.
Sir, you're a match. We need you to donate blood immediately.
But Dad folded his arms and said,
He's not my son. He's adopted. Find someone else.
I remember the doctor staring at him, stunned. But I stepped forward. Take mine. He's my brother. The transfusion saved David's life. After that, our bond was sealed forever. 3 years later, on the morning of David's 18th birthday, I expected to wake up to the smell of cake, or at least a small celebration. Mom would have done that. But instead, I heard Dad's heavy footsteps stomping down the hallway. He burst into David's room at 6 a.m., his face twisted with contempt.
Get up. You're 18 now. That means you're not my responsibility anymore.
David sat up, rubbing his eyes, confused.
Dad, it's my birthday. Can't we at least... Birthday? You think I'm wasting money celebrating the day some stranger's mistake landed in my house? Pack your things and get out.
I stood in the doorway, my heart pounding. My name is Alina, and if there's one thing I learned early, it's that family isn't just about blood. My parents had struggled for years after marriage to have a baby. Mom told me once that she spent nights crying into her pillow while Dad just shrugged, saying maybe it wasn't meant to be. But Mom refused to give up on her dream of having a child. After many failed treatments and doctor visits, they decided to adopt. That's how David came into our lives. A 7-year-old boy with bright eyes and a quiet smile. He was timid at first, afraid to trust, but Mom loved him deeply, and soon he bloomed. Then, miraculously, 2 years later, Mom became pregnant with me. Everyone said it was a blessing, but that miracle also became the dividing line in our family. From the very beginning, Dad made it clear I was his real child. But David never made me feel like I was competing for love. He became my hero. He taught me to read, held my hand when I was scared, and even carried me to school on his rusty bicycle. Once, when I was 7, a group of boys surrounded me at school, making fun of my braids and calling me ugly. David, who was 13 then, came storming in like a lion.
Touch her again and I'll make you regret it.
The boys scattered. That was the kind of brother he was. Blood or not, he was family in every way that mattered. But Dad? He always drew the line. When David asked for new shoes, Dad said coldly,
Secondhand shoes will do for you.
When I needed something, he always found a way to provide. But David was brushed aside, dismissed like he didn't deserve better. After Mom passed away, it got worse. I was 9. David was 16. Dad seemed to blame David for everything. Once, when David accidentally broke a glass while washing dishes, Dad slapped him so hard his lip bled.
You're nothing but a clumsy mistake. We should never have brought into this house.
Another time, when David was accepted into the school's football team and needed some money for a kit, Dad laughed in his face.
Why waste money on you? You'll never be good at anything.
Mom had always been the balance, the soft hand that protected us. With her gone, there was nothing to soften Dad's harshness. At 15, David fell seriously ill. He collapsed at school during practice. It turned out he had a rare blood disorder, and without a transfusion, he could die. The doctor explained clearly.
Sir, you're a match. We need you to donate blood immediately.
But Dad folded his arms and said,
He's not my son. He's adopted. Find someone else.
I remember the doctor staring at him, stunned. But I stepped forward. Take mine. He's my brother. The transfusion saved David's life. After that, our bond was sealed forever. 3 years later, on the morning of David's 18th birthday, I expected to wake up to the smell of cake, or at least a small celebration. Mom would have done that. But instead, I heard Dad's heavy footsteps stomping down the hallway. He burst into David's room at 6 a.m., his face twisted with contempt.
Get up. You're 18 now. That means you're not my responsibility anymore.
David sat up, rubbing his eyes, confused.
Dad, it's my birthday. Can't we at least... Birthday? You think I'm wasting money celebrating the day some stranger's mistake landed in my house? Pack your things and get out.
I stood in the doorway, my heart pounding, watching as Dad threw a suitcase onto David's bed.
Secondhand clothes are all you'll ever need. Take them and leave.
David's hands trembled as he stuffed his few belongings into the suitcase. He looked at me, his eyes shining with pain, then back at Dad.
I never asked to be here. Mom wanted me. She's the only one who ever treated me like her son. Don't you dare mention her. You're nothing to me. Get out before I throw you out.
He shoved David toward the door, slamming it behind him. I pressed my face against the window, tears streaming down my cheeks as I watched my brother walk away, his shoulders heavy with grief. After David left, Dad changed. He became even lazier, even more stingy. He stopped working entirely and started leaning on me for everything. When I was 16 and my sneakers had holes, I asked for new ones.
They're still good. Stop wasting money.
He patched them with duct tape and expected me to wear them proudly. Once, when we ran out of milk, he poured water into the carton to make it last. Another time, when I craved a birthday cake, he gave me a pack of stale biscuits and said,
Cake is too expensive. Sugar's bad for you anyway.
At 22, Dad sat me down one evening. His face was grave.
Sweetheart, I have cancer. The doctors say I don't have long.
Tears filled my eyes. Despite everything, he was still my father. No. Dad, are you serious?
I need you to take care of me. Hospital bills, food, everything. You're all I've got.
I believed him. Like a fool, I took on the burden. I worked 2 jobs to pay the rent, the bills, the food. I bought his medication, which I later realized was nothing but vitamins. I cleaned, cooked, washed him, all while he sat there comfortable. But something felt off. He never lost weight. He never looked weak. He ate more than ever. One day, digging behind the house to plant flowers, I found a box buried under the dirt. Inside were stacks of cash wrapped in rubber bands, thousands. You don't have cancer, do you?
So what if I don't? You still did your duty as a daughter.
I've been breaking my back while you sit here hiding money underground?
That's right, and you're too soft to ever walk away.
But he was wrong. I packed my bags the next morning and moved in with David, who was now a successful businessman.
I told you, sis. He doesn't deserve you.
Dad later developed a small infection in his foot, but instead of using the money he had hoarded behind the house, he chose to save it. He refused to go to a real hospital and instead went to a cheap, unlicensed doctor.
Don't worry, old man. I'll take good care of you. No need to waste money on expensive hospitals.
The infection was minor and only needed simple medication, but the quack doctor put him under anesthesia. When Dad woke up, he discovered his leg had been amputated.
What have you done? I'll report you for this.
But before he could, the doctor fled the state. Limping and devastated, Dad returned home, only to discover that the money he had buried in the backyard had been stolen. Every last bill was gone. Broken. He tried reaching out to me and David, begging for help, but we cut him off. Alone and humiliated, he fell into a dark depression. Neighbors said he stopped eating, stopped speaking. And then, one night, he took his own life. Do I feel guilty? No, he chose this path. He hoarded love like he hoarded money, burying it until it rotted. David and I, on the other hand, are closer than ever. He's my brother, my family, and nothing will change that. And that's the story of how my stingy father faked cancer, lost everything, and ended up paying the ultimate price. Guess money doesn't grow legs, especially if you get the wrong one amputated. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, because unlike my dad, I actually share the good stuff.